Hey everyone, welcome back to InsightRx. Today we have Chandhana, a junior at UNC Charlotte studying psychology and sociology, currently working as an office associate in the disability services at her university. Interested in getting her higher education in clinical psychology, currently looking to explore and learn more about the autism spectrum disorder diagnosis and management in women of all ages. In her free time, she likes to take on a small craft project. She also sings and likes to karaoke and live stage performances. Say hi!
Hey everyone.
So, starting off with your high school career, what high school did you go to? And throughout high school, did you discover or start to discover that psychology was your path?
I went to Green Hope High School. Um, I don't think I did anything specifically psychology related during high school. I took AP Psychology, but I didn't do much past that. I was looking into healthcare related things or like more science things, and I sort of landed on psychology because I really like working around people, and I felt like psychology and sociology is like very people oriented, and it's like everyday basis you're working with people face to face.
Were there any language credits you needed to do for psychology? If so, how many?
mm, for to graduate high school you don't need language credits, but in college you do need language credits. I did need it. I took three levels of French, and I didn't need to take language at all in college.
Okay. How many AP credits were needed? Because I know many people are like, you need 10, 8, so on and so forth. So, like, what's like a basic standard to get into like any of these like local colleges?
I don't think I'm the best person to ask such questions because I took like 4 or 5 APs. I didn't take more than that. Mm, I know a lot of other people that go to Green Hope, Green Level, Apex, Friendship. Everyone did take a lot more APs. I think it depends on how much you want to take on per semester. So
Mm-hmm.
it's based on the person's preference.
Mm. Were there any ECs that like stood out to you during high school? If so, like, how did it change your path in choosing your career and going into college?
I did a shadow opportunity with a doctor during high school. I don't think that's necessary for college. Most health, especially psychology, you're not going to find a lot of shadow opportunities because of like client provider confidentiality and things.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many just general physicians who do allow shadow opportunities. I think that's a good one for most people looking into go into healthcare.
Yeah. During high school, what are some like general ways and strategies that you use to handle your stress during hard times?
I didn't handle my stress well in high school, if I'm being completely honest. Um, I can tell you about now though. I journal, I listen to music, and just like do my crafty things. So just kind of take your mind off of school for even 30 minutes per day. Because I know high school, college students were like full time on like a certain level of stress that we don't need to be.
Yeah. For me at least, it's like really hard for me to handle
Mhm.
stress. Like,
Mhm.
first week of school and I'm still so tired. It's so like overwhelming. hmm So now we'll be switching gears into your college life. So how would you describe your day as a psychology and sociology student at UNC Charlotte?
So this semester, I have an interesting schedule going on. I have 5 classes, and 3 of those are in person, and all of them are on Tuesday. So I'm just like mostly the throughout my day, I'm just like at work. But generally, like last semester and semester before that, I'd have 1 or 2 classes per day for either of my subjects. And they're very like real life application based as well, especially for humanities major, because if you're like in engineering or computer science or something like that, you're gonna have more like, okay, guys, let's sit down and do math type of classes. But a lot of my higher level classes are just the teacher or professor tells you something, and everyone in the class is just like kind of bouncing ideas off each other, and we're just like discussing. So I think that's what most of my classes look like.
Mm. How are you learning more about psychology in college? Like, of course, there's like harder classes, but how are you kind of applying it into your normal life?
I think most classes are very application based. We have our notes, we have our lessons, but I think the discussions, like I mentioned earlier, really let us put ourselves in those situations or like explore the ideas introduced to us in class together as like a group.
Yeah. To anyone listening, what's something you would say about psychology that like others don't really know about?
I think one big thing that I am currently learning, I'm taking a class that teaches about like different career paths you can do with psychology. And I was surprised by the amount of like the list of jobs we can actually get into. My professor this semester, she was talking about how most even big corporate companies will hire psychology students like even fresh out of undergrad because those companies need people like employees with people skills, and no one, no, I'm not going to say no one, but like many other people in other majors don't have as good people skills as psychology or sociology majors, because all we do is learn about people and how like people work, people's behaviors, people's social patterns and everything. So that was really surprising. So don't worry if you're looking into go like looking into studying psychology, you won't be unemployed, I promise.
Were there like any other majors that were standing out to you other than these two?
Mm, I mainly went in for psychology and added sociology for like, why not? But another thing I was looking into was neuroscience, but it's like pretty close by to psychology as well. I was pretty strong and set on psychology.
Yeah. You were kind of talking about like the wide range of jobs and stuff. If you had to pick right now and you could get into any of the jobs, which one would you pick?
Hmm. I would want to work in a small therapist office where it's like five
Mhm.
to six people just in their little building, each have their own room type of situation.
Mhm.
I think that's my nearest goal.
Is there like a particular reason, or it's just like your preference?
Mm, I think being in bigger hospital settings can be stressful. Even if you're gonna put yourself in that situation for a few years, I don't think I want to do that for like the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go into the future.
Mhm.
So, what are some future goals and aspirations that you have for yourself?
Mm, I think my end goal is to have my own practice as a clinical psychologist. But to get there, I want, like I said, the little office with a few therapists. I want to do that for a while in the middle. I am also kind of setting up to work with a mental health organization. I don't know the details yet, but I am looking forward to that as well. So just smaller projects that like, not smaller projects, but like small projects and then like other things that lead up to where I want to be.
In the future, what do you hope to achieve through learning and pursuing psychology and sociology?
Could you repeat that, please?
In the future, what do you hope to achieve through learning and pursuing psychology and sociology?
I think I just hope to understand the world around me better. And it can kind of be like a superpower too. Like most people just go through their life doing things because they're told to or because others are doing. But psychology students, especially, are like know the inside tea of the people around them and everything. So,
Mm-hmm. I just have like a general question. I know that you sing, and me personally, I've heard you sing really, really well. So does singing impact your career in any sort of way?
mm, I didn't think so until recently, but my professor, she was talking about how most of her students are involved in some music thing. So maybe there's a connection there. Maybe someone will come out with the research on that soon. I'll get back to you guys on that.
Yeah. Do you have any theories for that right now?
I think many psychology majors are people that feel deeply or like feel a lot, and music can like invoke feelings and things like that. So maybe such connections exist.
What's a piece of advice that you would give to upcoming seniors, your past self, or just high schoolers in general?
I don't think this is very much advice like, but more reassurance. We're all, I'm not saying I'm like amazing now, not stressed at all, but especially during like sophomore to senior year, the students are all worried about college or just worried about their future in general. We're gonna figure it out one way or another. We're not gonna like somehow all be unemployed. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna go well.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for being on our podcast today. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so
Of
much
course.
for agreeing to record with us.
Of course. Thank you for the great questions, guys.